In 2 days, Xander has a birthday. He turns 3. Last year, I attempted to make him an airplane cake, and I decided I want to keep up the tradition of making my children's birthday cakes. So this year, I'm attempting my hand at baking a cake again. I'm pretty new at this. So what I'm doing is I'm making a bulldozer cake. For this recipe, I'm going to be using 3 or possibly 4 cake mixes. The dozer takes 2 cake mixes, and for the base, I'm not sure if I'm going to need 1 or 2. So for the bulldozer part, you're going to need 2 8x8 pans and 2 loaf pans. And I just split the recipes between the 4. They're all right now in the oven. I hope I don't have too much in. I hope they all get done evenly. And then once that's done and cooling, I'm going to be making the base and trying my hand at baking in a cookie sheet. It's going to be much thinner. Hope it turns out. So I asked my cake making friend what she would recommend as far as should I put parchment paper in, and she says she never bakes without it. She said it's the most important to just have it on the bottom at least, because the sides you can scrape with a knife. So I'm attempting parchment paper so that I can get the cake out. Okay, hold on a bit. Oh, please let it go. Xander, just let it go.
Look!
Bubba,
To the camera.
To the camera, please.
Yeah! Good!
You want to lick it? I have all the white cakes finished. They just got out of the oven. These 2, they look a little bit more overdone than that one had to stay in a little bit longer. And these don't look quite as done as those, but I think they'll still be good. Now, I have 1 chocolate cake recipe, and I think I'm gonna try this. I'm not sure how it's gonna work. I'm trying to decide if I need 1 more mix of cake or if I should just leave it. It's just so on the bottom, but I don't want it to rise like super high. Oh, the mailman's here. I think he has your birthday gift. But you can't see it until your birthday.
Yes, I'm a kid, yeah!
But you can't see it right now. You have to wait till your birthday. Okay. Oh yeah. I think I'm gonna put it in for about 15 minutes instead of it calls for a half hour. Hey, hey. What do you think is inside?
A present.
A present.
Okay.
A gift, okay. Keep an eye on him, make sure he doesn't open that. But as I was saying, I think I'm just gonna put it in with 1 batch. This cookie sheet I think is a little bit bigger than most. Anyway, we'll see how it turns out. We'll put it in for half the time and we'll see, yeah, if it's done by then. Okay, stay back, Xander. Let's see if it's done. Ooh.
A white cake.
You like cake? Oof. Alright, so this chocolate cake didn't rise as high as I was hoping, so I think I'm gonna do 1 more batch. We have a lot of cakes today. Xander, look at all these cakes. Goodness.
That's so many.
Uh-huh. I've given the chocolate cake some time to cool. I might try to scrape a little bit of this off the top, just because it's got a little bit uneven anyway, and I want some cake crumbles for later to make it look like mud. I have some ideas in my head. We'll see how they play out. And being that it's on a ceramic cookie sheet, it should come off very easily. I'm gonna hopefully flip it onto the parchment paper over there, and then we're gonna do the second batch in this cookie sheet, and then we'll put the 2 layers on top of each other.
Eventually.
I think the chocolate cake is cooled enough on the sheet cake. I'm gonna try to get the top piece on that. So here goes, wish me luck. All right, let me just show you quickly some of the candies I got. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be using them all, but I have 2 bags of mini Kit Kats. Hershey chocolate bar. I got Twix, Hershey's milk chocolate drops, and then I got these milk chocolate crunch things. I thought this would look good for rocks and dirt. I'm not sure what I'm gonna use. And now I need to get to making icing. So I'm gonna have all these directions and my icing recipe in my blog, which I'll have links below. It's themennonitemom.com. The icing recipe that I'm using I got from a friend of mine. She said it works very well for decorating. You can leave it sit out, it doesn't dry out. And she also said it's a great icing for putting in the freezer, getting back out, so if you're freezing between layers. I'm gonna have that recipe on my blog, and I'm not gonna show the process. I'm just gonna mix up the icing, make it into batches of colors that I need, and then we'll see you guys when all these cakes are cooled, and I'll be cutting and start decorating. You ready, Bubba?
Yeah.
You have orange on your face.
They jumped up. Yeah. Good.
Alright, for my first 8x8 cake pan, I'm going to cut it not quite in half. I think I'm going to cut it about right here. And then also cut it this way, right in half. Now these two pieces are going to be for the cab, and this is just extra that we actually don't need. So my two loaf pans, I have this one and this one. This is going to be for the main part of the tractor. So the directions that I'm following say to just cut the treads off the sides, but since my cake pan has rounded edges, I'm gonna just trim it straight from about here on each side. Cut this up to my 1/2 inch mark and then down to here. Now since this is so crumbly, I'm gonna put this whole thing in the freezer. I think that'd be the best idea before I try to get everything out. So one of the mistakes I made last time I did the birthday cake was I didn't crumb coat it, which means you put a very thin layer of icing on the cake and put it in the freezer to harden before you put your decorative icing on. That way you're not getting crumbs coming up through the icing. I'm gonna try to kind of get the main body of my dozer together and crumb coat it, and also crumb coat the base and pop it in the freezer for about 15 minutes or so, and it should harden. Trim some of this off so it's a little flatter. This parchment paper works awesome. It'll be okay. So we're gonna take this out part. Okay, this is definitely too high, so I'm gonna cut more off the side here. There, that's more like it. I have my crumb coat finished. I had to go pretty thick around here because it was so crumbly, but this is now gonna go in the freezer, and I'm gonna keep working on the other part. My crumb coat for the crawlers are finished. I didn't do this side because that goes against the tractor. So these go in the freezer now. I have these frozen now for a while, and I'm gonna start putting on the brown first because I wanna put that back in the freezer. These things always take so long. You feel so energized at the beginning, and towards the end it's like, man, this is taking a while. But it's still fun. Put Xander to bed, and now I have the tractor, the main tractor part out. That's frozen. I'm gonna start coating that with yellow icing. I'm bringing some water to boil here on the stove. And that's gonna be for my icing knife to try to smooth out the icing after these parts of cakes come out of the freezer. And while that's coming to a boil, I'm gonna tackle this cake. This is where I'm getting a little bit nervous. I'm gonna dig into the cake a little bit and try to get it to look like dirt. And I'm scared I'm gonna mess it up, but we're gonna give it a try. I have the icing all smooth. It actually does work fairly well. It's still not this perfectly smooth job, but definitely works really well. Anyway, so now I'm just gonna go ahead and mostly finish decorating the tractor part, and then after that I'm going to put on the tracks. That's the part I'm a little worried about, but yeah, here goes. Alright, here are some of the cake crumbs I saved from before. I have these Hershey drops. I'm not sure if I'm going to use them. Now I'm going to try these crunch ones. I think these will look a little bit better. I am finished, and now back to the ginormous mess. I was trying to clean up as I went, but when I got to the icing part, it all fell apart. If I were to do it over again, I'd be a little bit more careful with my cakes, trying to cut them in more square shapes instead of letting them get all rounded out, and so it doesn't look quite as real. But I'm happy. This is only basically the second cake I have ever made or decorated. So if you want the directions, once again, I'll have links below to my blog. And if you liked it, I'd love if you give it a thumbs up, share it with someone if you think they might like it and could use it for their children. We'll see you guys next time. Have a good day. Want to see it? Do you like it?
Yeah.
What is it?
This is the track, and that's a border, and this is a window.
Whoa.
And that's the top to the roof. So,
Yeah.
and Bulldozer is the back.
Okay, we're gonna cover it up again. We're gonna eat it tonight with all your little friends.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Xander. Happy birthday to you.
Okay, now blow them out. Oh,
Everywhere I go,
oh, are these the ones that light it?
I'm gonna let it shine.
Blow harder.
Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine.
Yeah, you can open it.
Turn it off.
Magnet box.
Magnet blocks. Some more so you can build much bigger towers.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
This is a magnet block tower.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine.
94.
This little light of mine,
What are you making, Brindley?
let it shine.
This tower. What are you making, Tippy?
A house.
Oh, that's nice.
I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine.
Let's
Let
see
it
this.
shine.
Let's go like 7.
Man.
This is a wait.
Yeah, it would have been.
I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine.